Welcome, Mr. Malley, to the committee. Read your opening statement. Iran was complying with its commitments under the JCPOA. Under the JCPOA, and I'm quoting from your testimony, Iran operated a tightly constrained and carefully monitored nuclear program. Iran was neither complying with the compliance terms of the JCPOA, nor were they operating a carefully monitored nuclear program. There were just side deals in that program that members of Congress weren't made aware of, that wrote off, that excluded certain military sites from inspection whatsoever. Moreover, the very terms of the deal, including those secret side agreements, were not being followed by Iran, which is why this is such an incredibly grave situation. So just to reframe this, we're not talking about a deal that Iran was completely complying with. And a nuclear deal that's not being complied with is not really a deal that we can live with. We need a longer and stronger deal, as the Secretary of State emphasized before this committee. That was the objective of the administration. The Wall Street Journal today released a piece about, title, Iran used secret UN records to evade nuclear probe. So we're learning more about the extent of non-compliance by the leaders in Iran. The journal says that Iran's been stonewalling IAEA investigations. Iran wants IAEA, the nuclear inspector, their continuing investigations in the past nuclear weapons work closed before a deal is restored. Yet the agency has blessedly pushed back, indicating that they can't close these inspections because they don't have enough clarity on Iran's past nuclear work. All this is incredibly troubling. As Director General Rafael Grossi told the European Parliament just earlier this month, he said, quote, Iran, quote, has not been forthcoming in the kind of information we need from them. So, Mr. Malley, were you aware of these efforts by Iran to hide its prior nuclear work from the IAEA?
Senator, did Iran lie? Of course. Did Iran have a covert nuclear program? Absolutely. That's the reason why prior administrations imposed such crushing sanctions on Iran.
Was Iran in compliance, as you say in your testimony?
Yes, Iran was in compliance with the JCPOA, and please don't take my word for it. You could ask the IAEA, which certified on numerous occasions, until the Trump administration.
So let me interject respectfully, sir. Does the JCPOA require Iran to allow IAEA inspectors in to look at certain nuclear sites, and did Iran comply with those express terms of the JCPOA?
Yes and yes. And again, don't take my word for it. Even the former administration had to certify that Iran was in compliance, and it did so repeatedly until it decided to leave the deal.
So, and evidently that wasn't enough then. So the administration's position is there were certain terms of the agreement that weren't robust enough, and that's why the goal was longer and stronger. And yet we continue to have non-compliance by the Iranians, and they're not allowing more information to be divined about their previous nuclear weapons work. Are we trying to re-enter the old deal, or are we pursuing a longer and stronger deal? What is the current state of things?
Senator, the current state is we're trying to, if we can, re-enter the deal and then build on that to get a longer, stronger deal. The problem we face is that today, as a result of the withdrawal from the deal, we have weaker and shorter. So short, in fact, that all of the steps that people feared that Iran might take at the expiration of some of the sunsets, 10 years, 15, 20 years from now, Iran is doing them today. And so weak, in fact, that we don't have any binding constraints on Iran. And again, you know, listen to some of what we have to listen to what have a preponderance of Israeli former security officials are saying, including two just coincidentally today. And one of them, the former IDF head of intelligence until 6 months ago, General Tamir Heyman, said today, the situation that would have happened in 2030 under the nuclear deal wouldn't have been as bad as the current situation because Iran is unconstrained. And that's what we need to address.
I'm praying that we are successful in persuading the Iranians to adopt a longer and stronger approach in which they are actually compliant with the terms of that and allow very robust inspection safeguards. I don't think we have those inspection mechanisms in place with the JCPOA, which is why we need to still focus on longer and stronger. I think we're going to go in circles with respect to that, and I see my time has expired, so I'll thank you again for being here, sir.
Senator Murphy.